Hello and welcome to Drive and Double Feature Podcast. I'm Nathan.
I'm Ryan.
And this is the podcast where we talk about 2 movies a week every Tuesday and Thursday. But before we get into this week's movies, I want to talk to you about our Patreon. Head on over there. We have episodes for you to watch. So many just episodes. I won't even tell you what they're about, what they are, but I will say that they're great, and you're missing out if you aren't. And would you agree, Ryan?
Oh, I love watching them.
Oh yeah, sorry guys, I said watching. They are not video podcasts. Sorry if you wanted to see our faces. That does not.
I already made the joke on another podcast. I love watching the progress bar.
Yeah. Oh man, no face reveals yet. Sorry, you just have the animated little pictures of us. But
Yeah, I'm the one with the beard and glasses.
Oh yeah. Well, no, leave that to their imagination. Who is who? You're the one with the suit. I don't even know which one
Yeah.
I am. Okay, cool. Good to know. I'll make sure to make mine look taller whenever I do the photos in Photoshop. I'll like inch mine a little bit taller than you, so it looks like I have power.
As you do.
As any sane person would do. I don't know what I'm talking about. But let's move into the movie. This Tuesday, we're talking about 1982's Deathtrap, directed by Sidney Lumet, who we've talked about before on the show. We talked about The Hill. So it's a return of like a great director, which is funny.
Well, we didn't mention it on the Hill episode, but he's in this movie. But apparently, Michael Caine was originally going to be in the Hill.
Oh, really? I don't remember that. Yeah, so we didn't talk about that. That's actually really cool. Was he supposed to be Sean Connery's role?
I'm not sure, but he turned down the role to do Alfie, which Alfie was like his big star making role. So
He probably made the right choice there. I mean, I love The Hill, don't get me wrong. But no, I mean, if just in case you missed out on the episode, Sidney Lumet, director of 12 Angry Men, Serpico. Why am I The Wiz? He made The Wiz.
Dog Day Afternoon.
Dog Day. Thank you. Just a bunch of classics, a bunch of classics. But this is kind of one of his, I say, little lesser known movies. Probably not his least known. That man made so many movies. But it's not one of his best remembered movies.
He's actually one of like my favorite directors. Like he's made so many like just really like you're like you see all these like all-time classics and you're just like, wow, he directed all of these movies. That's crazy.
I know it is insane. And then he made movies from like the 50s all the way to 2007 with his last movie Before the Devil Knows You're Dead, which is an amazing movie, by the way. So
Well, yeah, not as good as Find Me Guilty with Vin Diesel.
he made that movie. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That was like a video store staple of like Vin Diesel just standing like, or he's like
sitting.
sitting.
He's in the armchair with his like with that wig on or whatever, and
Yes.
It's just like, oh, like just looks so tired.
Yeah, what a classic movie cover.
Yeah.
But speaking of movie covers, this one's also kind of interesting since we're on the topic of the movie stars Michael Caine, Christopher Reeve, and Diane Cannon, and they're all popping out of like a Rubik's Cube, right? It's actually a really interesting poster. But this is a classic whodunit. It's based off of a play actually from the 70s. I've never seen it. This was my first introduction to this story. I knew nothing about it going in, and yeah, I mean it's a fun mystery. I had a good time. You'd seen this before, right, Ryan?
Yes, I had. Because I was like, after I watched like Dog Day Afternoon, I was like, what else has he directed? It's like, oh, Michael Caine's in this. I want to see that. So
okay, gotcha. And then you watched what's the movie? Harry Brown?
No, I didn't see that one. Actually, wasn't out yet when I watched it.
Really? Wow, interesting.
But I did watch. I watched Sleuth before that, so it's like Sleuth reminded me of this because it's like a battle of the wits type of like play movie or whatever.
Yeah, and it definitely goes for like the same vibe here. It's like the setup for this plot, and I will warn you early that we're going to give away a lot of spoilers here. This is a twist and turny movie. It's not like one big twist. It's a lot of different twists. It's always subverting where you're going. So I will say off the bat, I recommend this movie. I think you should check it out. So take that as you will. Stop listening to the podcast, watch the movie, come back. The classic thing that people say.
No, I want you to listen. I'm not going to say my thoughts, and then you can, and then you have to listen to the spoilers if you want to hear if I recommend this movie or not.
And then we get to the end, you're like, yeah, you should watch it. I hope you weren't spoiled.
Yeah.
But it is like you said, a battle of the wits. It's about a playwright and he's failing. We open on Michael Caine and he's just got a new play out and it is just a dud. Nobody really likes it. And from the film's perspective, we get he receives a script from an old student and it's like the most perfect script you could find. He's like, this is a $10 million script. I would make tons of money if I released this on my own. And I really love the setup for this because he's with his wife, Diane Cannon. And he's just like, the whole time he's like, I could kill him and take it from him. And she's just she's so much like, she doesn't know if he's playing or not. She plays this really fine line. And I'll be honest with you, I think Diane Cannon's really good in this movie. And she won a Golden Raspberry. I thought she was great. I loved her. I don't understand the hate. I really don't. She made me laugh. You don't like her at all?
No.
What? I think she's so funny.
I thought she deserved the raspberry. That was gonna be like my whole thing.
You hate her, really?
She's not a bad actress. She has been in good movies. She's been in Shampoo. Heaven Can Wait. She got nominated for some of these movies, but I thought she was so bad in this movie.
Really? Oh my god! No, I think she was so funny. I don't. There was something about her. She was just she's just erratic.
You liked her screaming every 5 seconds?
I guess so. I guess I enjoyed the screaming. I don't know. I just thought it was really funny, the banter between her and Michael Caine, like the will they, won't they, like, or will he, won't he kind of deal, where she's just like questioning him and what he's going to do.
Well, like you said, this movie it's based off of a play, and the twist at the end is that this movie, the things happening in this movie get turned into a play.
Yes. And
so I kind of think like the real hammy acting from everybody is intentional.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think but I think she kind of takes it a little too far. But that's not to say like these are not my favorite performances by these actors. But
no.
But it's fine for what it is. The plot and all that is probably the best part, and like the dialogue, but the acting and it from like Diane Cannon, and I'm not saying Michael Caine and Christopher Reeve were great or anything, but it's not their best work either.
No. I mean, they do fine. I think they play off of each other well. It fits the movie's tone, right? Like I feel like this movie has a certain tone going for it. It's kind of silly. It's almost tongue-in-cheek, making fun of like mystery movies like this, in a way, mystery plays. Because that's the idea is that Michael Caine can think of the perfect way to kill this guy to make sure that he doesn't get caught. But what's fun about this movie is you really get this play, like you think the whole time he's going to kill him, and then he kills Christopher Reeve. And of course, when he dies, I'm thinking, oh, well, he's not really dead because that's a famous guy he just killed. He isn't going to be in the movie for just 20 minutes. But the movie kind of plays, they were trying to get his wife to have a heart attack so they could run off and be lovers together. It's a gay movie from 1982. Kind of wild.
Well, so I knew it going in. I knew what the twist was going into it. And you didn't know that they were going to turn out to be gay lovers?
No, I did not know that. I mean, I didn't know where it was going to go. I knew he wasn't dead, but right. I didn't guess where it was going to go from there. And I think I thought it was a fun twist. Maybe, I mean, I didn't predict it, but I could see it being a little predictable. But I do like the idea that his wife dies from a heart attack. They just scare her to death.
Yeah, so this is a callback to the Tingler.
Yes, I think so. I think they even say Vincent Price in the movie, right?
They do, yeah.
Yeah, so there it is. They're just Tingler heads.
Yeah, and big tingles.
So you were probably applauding, clapping when she died, right?
Well, I mean, so okay, to be fair, I remember when I first watched it because I remember, I'm always interested to see what awards a movie's has won. And I remember reading on this movie before I had watched it,
Mm-hmm.
Diane Cannon, worst supporting actress.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just say like the Razzies have very questionable
Mm-hmm.
opinions sometimes. Like we've talked about it before. It's like the little kid from Over the Top. Like they're just like giving it to him,
Awful.
like just really mean spirited, and
Yes,
just.
yeah.
But I mean, they've like what was it? Michael Caine got nominated for worst actor for Dress to Kill.
Yeah, yeah. And I
So,
feel like that was just because he played like a character that liked to dress as women. They were like, oh, give him worst actor or something.
well, no, like everyone gave that whole movie like. I remember like that whole movie, like everything about that movie was nominated. So it was
Yeah.
just like because they thought it was a Hitchcock ripoff.
Yeah. And,
And
and and another big thing, The Shining, that's another huge
yeah,
one that was
exactly.
nominated.
So but my point is just I don't trust every single time when
Mm-hmm.
somebody gets nominated for worst acting in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
So when I remember watching it for the first time, I remember thinking like, oof, that was rough. And I remember not liking her even in the first time. But then, I go into this movie, I watch it again. It's probably been, like I said, like,
Mm-hmm.
what, 16 years since I've last watched this movie. So I was like, maybe maybe I'm remembering this wrong, and maybe I was not mature enough to handle such sophisticated acting, and
Yeah. Putting your critic hat on, like, okay,
yeah,
I'm ready for this nuance.
right. I'm ready for this nuance, and then
Mm-hmm.
I put it on, and it still wasn't good in my opinion, but
Mm-hmm.
that's fine. You could like crappy acting. We all like crappy acting every now and then. We all
I
like
mean,
camp.
I'm not gonna hide it. I don't care. Yeah, no, I mean it is camp. It totally is, and I just had,
it is.
yeah, that's like the tone of the movie, especially Christopher Reeve, which I guess was really interesting for him because this is right after the Superman movies, right? Both of them, or just the first one?
I think this came out the same year as Superman 2,
The
I
same
think.
year, yeah. So this guy's at the height of his
Well,
career,
right.
getting.
Well, right. And I remember this was like a big deal. I remember like when
Mhm.
this, like at the time, because it was, well, one, you didn't see homosexuality that often in a movie.
No.
And it's like, and then you see one of the biggest superhero characters like
Yeah.
kissing another man. It's like whoa, okay. Because I remember reading that in the play it was kind of implied that they were
Mhm.
lovers, but it was never explicitly stated
Really.
that there was just kind of like some innuendo to it that there's maybe something more between the two of them. But
Mm.
this movie, they actually made it the point. It's like, no, they are gay, like they are lovers.
Yeah, I mean
And
that makes the plot make more sense as to why they would do that.
right.
Mhm.
And um uh Christopher Reeve, I remember I read somewhere that he was pretty hesitant to do the homosexual angle to this movie. And
Yeah.
I remember too, like there was like a song that came out. I can't remember who, but there was somebody that like sang about like they were so upset seeing Superman kiss another man in a movie.
Oh my God, that they made a song about it?
Yeah, well, it's like they dropped it like I was like a line in a song or something.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I did a little bit of reading, and it seemed to have been like a little bit of a controversy. Of course, like according to Time magazine, this movie lost $10 million because it could have made $10 more million if it wasn't a gay movie. Which I don't know how true that is because I mean, it's not like the trailers are out here. I don't know if the trailers were probably selling this movie like the first half, like, oh, it's a writer trying to kill his student to get the script. they weren't really selling that back half of it, but
Where
whatever.
I mean, spoilers are such a big thing in today's culture. I mean, like, I want to know. I want to know like how big they are like back then. Like,
Yeah.
was it like a big deal if you say, oh, by the way, they were gay or something?
Yeah,
Like, and people are
like
like,
how
oh, okay.
people like, ah, like screaming. Like Homer Simpson walking out of the theater of Deathtrap saying, oh, I can't believe they were gay.
Yeah. Well, they so there was this little movie called, Star Wars, and
Yeah, uh-huh.
I mean, I can't say I know what it's about, but apparently it's revealed one of the characters is the other person's father, but like the actor, like leading up to the movie, was like, "Oh yeah, I'm Luke's father," and no big deal. And they're like, "Oh, interesting. Okay, thanks." And it was just like they just dropped that little
No,
tidbit and like in an interview for the movie.
no, I think this would be an interesting conversation anyway, because I mean, I agree. I mean, I can't think of any now. I'd have to look, but I know there's trailers from back in the day that would just have the spoiler, like a twist in the trailer. I don't think the twist was a reason to go see the movie, not like oh, keep it hidden from me. I don't want to know before the movie.
What was it? A Terminator 2, they revealed that, oh,
Yes, yeah.
he's a good guy now, but like in the movie, if you go see it in the movie, it looks like he's back and he's trying to kill Sarah Connor again.
Yeah, for like the first, like not half, but the first little bit of the movie. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And then it's like the big twist is that he's a good guy now.
Yeah.
So
Wow. Thanks, trailer makers, for the
yeah.
spoiler.
But even trailers today, they do that so often. Like I mean, this is a tangent now, but
Yeah, whatever.
like you feel like you see like the whole movie before you even go see it sometimes.
No, it's true. You see all the scenes from the movie. That tangent again, but like I hate when you see a trailer and then you go see the movie and there's like a big scene from the trailer and the movie's not over. Like, oh, the movie's not over because this scene hasn't happened yet. So I know I still have more to go. I hate that feeling.
Well, last thing I'm going to say about this, there was
Yeah.
that one movie. There was that one movie called, A Dog's Journey or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I remember, like, I think it was this one, or it might have been another dog movie, but it was like they showed the whole movie. It's like, oh, a boy loses his dog, and it's like, no, and it shows like the dog like going through all this hardship, and then like at the end of the trailer, it shows the boy and the dog reuniting. I'm like, well, you just showed the whole movie.
Yeah, well, they were like, it's too sad for the audiences. The trailer is too depressing. We have to end it happy.
I guess, dang.
No,
But anyway, we'll
yeah.
get back to trailer talk on our trailer podcast.
Yeah, let's get back to this movie. But the rest of the movie kind of becomes a playing back and forth between Michael Caine, Christopher Reeve, because it does happen later. She does actually die, and he gets her money.
Well,
oh, go ahead. Oh, we forgot one.
Well, one scene I want. Well, we did, but before that character shows up, even the initial meeting between Christopher Reeve and Michael Caine and Diane Cannon, where it's like the three of them are talking about Deathtrap, and they're saying like, he's like, oh, well, maybe if I offer you some suggestions, and then maybe we could collaborate on this. And his wife goes on this really long like speech about, imagine it, Deathtrap, Sidney Brule with Cliff.
I don't know what it is. Yeah, Clifford. What's his name?
Anderson. I don't remember. But
yeah, that's it actually.
And yeah, he was like, Cliff Anderson, Sidney Brule. Imagine it.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. Where she's like going, because she's trying to stop this murder because she knows what Michael Caine's trying to do, and she breaks in. She's like, I'm gonna stop this. I'm gonna figure out this way. And yeah, she's just hamming it up like, you two together working on the same death trap. It's something else.
Right. But no, you're right. So when he does kill Christopher Reeve, no quotes, he like, and then she just starts like running up and down the halls, like screaming, like ah.
Yes, and you don't like this, huh? But
no.
Yeah, she does scream up and down the halls. That's like pretty much like that because she's just so neurotic. And that's pretty much what it becomes, because she even says like, I'm gonna leave you she's at the table, is like, I'm gonna leave you and you're gonna give me this, and whenever you get all the money back, you're gonna make sure to give that to me.
Well, yeah, she remember, like, even like when he like arrives, when Michael Caine like comes back to the house, he just walks into her house and she just starts screaming like, "Ah, you're
Yeah,
home!"
that's
And
right. And then
he's like, "Can I just like?" He's like, how am I supposed to think with you screaming every 5 minutes?"
I think she does that because they live next door to a what do you call, a psychic, and she knows something bad is about to happen, and of course she screams whenever the psychic enters, which this character is so odd to me that they throw in here. I mean, it makes sense, it's like just this weird element. Helga ten Dorp, I think, and she has a very thick accent, but she's predicting all of these murders before they happen. um yeah, but of course she thinks the first murder is just the death of the wife that she's predicting.
Well, yeah, she does kind of imply like what's going to happen later in the movie, because they're like, oh, it's a younger one and an older one, and the younger one starts trying to kill the older one, and they're just like, huh, she got it wrong, like that didn't happen at all, type of thing.
Yeah. Even though she pops back up again later in the movie. But that's for the big scene, because come to find out, Christopher Reeve is making a script about the exact thing that happened in the movie. And of course, Michael Caine doesn't want this. It's going to ruin his whole career.
Well, one thing, one part I did like was, so I mean, they pretty much have gotten away with it for the most part, because his wife does have a medical history, so it's very easy to say like, oh well, she just had a coronary, she's had bad heart problems like her whole life, and they've already masked it to where they're living together, and they say Cliff is now Sidney's secretary, because they're like, well, I got to have a man be my secretary, because if it's a woman, people are going to think I killed her and tried to run off with my secretary or whatever. Um, but anyway, like, yeah, he's secretly like typing on the typewriter, like, because he's like, oh, he's just working on his own play, but Michael Caine's friend stops over just to like check on him, and he's like the executor too of Diane Cannon's estate, and tells him like, oh, you made millions of dollars, from her. And anyway, he's like, by the way, I saw your friend over there like secretly typing something, and he locked it in a drawer. And he's like, oh, interesting. And then like as soon as he leaves, and he's like just goes frantically like trying to pull it out of the drawer.
Yeah, that scene felt, I don't know, it felt like something Brian De Palma would make, because he's like trying to jam the knife in there, and it breaks, and then he gets the key and he tries to open it to the best of his ability. But once again, like, that's not even like the full reveal of the movie, because he finds the script, and then you think once again Michael Caine is going to kill Christopher Reeve, but Christopher Reeve was orchestrating this whole thing so we could think of the final act for his scripts.
Well, I think that's like the funnier parts of the movie. It's just like each one of them are like one step ahead of each other. So
I think there was something that just made me laugh as soon as it happened, because like it was just so ludicrous. Like it is like almost a parody of these things. Was when Michael Caine has the gun, shoots it, and there's no bullets in there, and Christopher Reeve is like, ah ha ha, I have the gun right back here, I took those bullets, I knew you were gonna do this.
I knew you were gonna grab that exact gun and use those bullets, so I put the bullets in this gun. And then he handcuffs Michael Caine, and Michael Caine just happens to have Houdini cuffs on. It's just like, those were the Houdini cuffs, now I'm free.
Yeah. And he gets a crossbow and shoots him with the crossbow. Yeah, I do think the latter half of this movie after the reveal is really fun, because once you see one big twist, it's like it's a reversal, as they bring up in the movie. It's like, well, what more can they even do past this?
Well, yeah, and they go on really especially Christopher Reeve, like he goes on like this big long monologue about himself, and like how, and it's revealed that he had to go in and out of mental facilities. And Michael Caine's like, are you Like, go on, say it. Sadist. Yeah, it is the word. Yes.
Yeah, I you know what, I like Christopher Reeve in this movie. I think I think he's fun. Nah, I mean, as a whole, I'd say it's a fun movie. I mean, in the end, we get revealed the psychic, she took the story and made her own play about the real life story, so it goes full circle.
Yeah, that part I was like, I don't know, I wasn't wild about that character, to be honest with you. And
Yeah,
that's one element where I was just like, I mean, it. I guess maybe if it was a little stronger character, I would have liked it a little more. But I thought I did. I just thought it was that part. I thought it was kind of silly. Like she is all of a sudden like a brilliant writer, or unless did she? Do you think she took the script
I
and
don't
used it
know.
herself?
She could have. That might have been it. But no, I actually agree. I think it's a funny ending, but I was really liking it. And then the ending where it's a play that she made, kind of like it wasn't the best. I feel like it could have ended just a little bit better. I don't think it tied it up well enough.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't mind the ending that it was a play, but it was just like, oh, the psychic was a brilliant writer this whole time.
Yeah, she orchestrated this. Is that what's going on?
I guess I don't know, but
I don't know.
it is a fun movie. I mean, like I said, if it sounds like I'm complaining about the acting, it's really not like unbelievably bad. But I had a good time watching it. Just seeing, like I said, just the battle of the wits, where
Mm-hmm.
you're watching two people like trying to one up each other the whole time. It was pretty entertaining.
Yeah, and I think that's what it's a hit entertaining mystery movie. If you like mystery movies, then you'll probably like this one. It's a good time overall.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think that wraps it up. So Ryan, what are we going to be covering on Thursday?
Well, Nathan, we talked about hamburgers before, but you know what the perfect companion for a hamburger is?
Like cheese, ketchup, mustard,
No,
buns.
no, no. Well, kind of, kind of. There is a bun, but
Okay, okay.
not a burger bun. We're going to be talking about hot dog,
Oh
the
my God,
movie.
I love hot dogs.
I know. I've seen you eat a hot dog.
Yeah, I know. I think I've seen you eat one too.
Yeah. But yes, we will be talking about Hot Dog, the movie, which is free on Tubi.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to watch that one. Or sorry, I'm excited to devour that one.
Yes.
Yes. But if you like this, you can send us an email over at drive-in-double-feature-podcast@gmail.com. Hell, if you hated this, send us an email too. I'd love to hear from you.
I definitely want to hear from you if you hated it.
Yes. Also, you can tweet at us at DIDFpod. But until next time.
Until next time.